BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another one of my patented off-the-cuff reviews for you. First of all, it's hard to believe that the predecessor to this game came out nearly exactly 8 years ago. And that was of course the original Halo Wars on the Xbox 360 and not on PC like its sequel now is. That one was developed by Ensemble Studios, and it was actually sadly the last game ever developed by Ensemble Studios, the creators of such franchises as Age of Empires. And now with Halo Wars 2 and my review, as you will be finding out, this one is being developed by Creative Assembly, known for the Total War series. But you wouldn't exactly know it, because Halo Wars 2 is very much more Halo Wars. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The first Halo Wars was, I think, the crown-wearing champion of RTS games, or real-time strategy games, on console. Sure, we've had Tom Clancy's End War and Rood and other such crazy attempts at the genre, and ports of Command and Conquer and other such titles, but none of them really pulled it off as well as Halo Wars did. And that's a real testament to what Ensemble did with thinking about how a controller could work with an RTS. You know, how we're going to have the quick sort of links on the D-pad, how we can do different commands using trigger pulls, how you can select all the units on the screen, or how you can select, say, the same units from the Marines or a Warthog group or something to that effect. And all of that is present here in Halo Wars 2. Very little actually feels different, though I won't deny it. I probably completed and played Halo Wars through one time and one time only on the 360 and never came back to it. So to say things feel the same might be a little bit inaccurate, because to be honest, if they are different, I probably wouldn't realise. Like much the same as you just watched the opening part of the cinematic here of Halo Wars 2, I think most people would struggle to remember what the story of the original Halo Wars was. I remember the Spirit of Fire, the ship, and I remember UNSC dudes fighting the Covenant, and that's pretty much it. I will say the game opens fantastically, and we have Blur Studios to thank for that, as they have done the amazing work on the CGI cutscenes that string the story together here in Halo Wars 2. And the story is fine. It's jingoistic, it's bombastic, and it does a good job at making a Halo game feel a little bit larger scale and not just a personal story of the Master Chief. Now, it's no secret to say that 343 Industries have been exploring and trying to find other ways of capitalising on the Halo franchises for years. We recently saw some leaked footage of a Mega Bloks game that never came to fruition, sadly, because it looked pretty awesome. But it's kind of shocking to me that the only other franchise within the Halo universe that's had any traction is Halo Wars. But let's be honest, who was clamouring for this sequel? Who was desperately saying, where is, Halo Wars 2? I love that RTS experience so much on the console. I need more of it. I don't think anybody was saying that. But that doesn't make this a bad game. Actually, this game's a lot of fun. And it does a few things innovating the genre on console that I respect. It doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to an old school RTS player like myself, who has enjoyed RTS games on the PC since well before I enjoyed games on console. I've been playing them all, be it real-time or 4X or, turn-based. I've enjoyed strategy games of every shape and form that you can imagine, and therefore I think I'm qualified to say that Halo Wars 2 is a pretty damn good strategy game. The control schemes work just as well as they did in the original, the story is pulled off just as well as it was, and let's be honest, after 8 years, hey, why not? Let's have another one of those games. Let's have another Halo Wars. It certainly doesn't feel out of place, and it fits quite nicely into Microsoft's first-party portfolio, which I know Phil Spencer is always adamant about having all the key pillars and diversifying and everything like that. So, the story is what it is. You're fighting this brute chieftain called Atriox. He's the leader of the Banished. Does any of that matter? Not particularly. There's Forerunner stuff, there's UNSC stuff, there's AIs, there's all the beats you'd expect. But what you have got here from Creative Assembly is its attempt at, in addition to what you'd expect from the multiplayer suite, with death matches and sort of regular 2v2 bouts or 3v3 fights in an RTS, as you'd expect, we've got this mode called Blitz. Now that's this interesting combination of a CCG, a collectible card game, and an RTS. Now that just sounds like, what? Mind-boggling. But what it does is, it removes the need for base building. It removes that whole slow build up to a match, which I can see console players that aren't familiar with RTSs being a little bit put off by. I, however, love it. I love building up a massive base and a giant army and turtling like a silly boy, which I usually get caught out by the, you'll be fine with an AI, fine with a computer on easy, but when you play against real people, yeah, that's how you lose. That doesn't work. So in this, what we've done is this card game. So you have a hand of cards like you would in any CCG, and that's built up of different cards that you unlock, opening packs. Hello, microtransactions, anyone? You know, that's what Microsoft seems to quite enjoy now. But hey, it works really well. So you have these different leaders, these different commanders, 3 from the human sides, 3 from the Covenant sides, and you get to basically, customize the hand. So you have, instead of building the units on the go with base management, which can be complex and really confusing, you have a selection of 5 different cards to play based on energy that you have collected while playing in the map. So you then spawn in a Warthog. It has a form of summoning sickness, if you like, if you know your Magic the Gathering terms, which means that it's got half attack power and half health for 8 seconds. So it behooves you to cast that when you're not directly in combat. So it means, you want to be a bit strategic about the units you're bringing in. You also want to be thinking about, do I need a ground unit right now? Do I need a mechanized unit now? Do I need an air unit at this moment? Because the whole game is built around the rock, paper, scissors mechanic of how air, land, and air sort of mechanized infantry, so tanks and stuff, and then regular infantry interact. One beats the other, beats the other, beats the other. As you'd expect from a simplified console RTS. And this mode is fun. This Blitz mode is fun. It's frenetic. It's engaging. I've had a lot of fun playing it. There's also a Blitz firefight mode, which is fun, so you can go in with a friend and just play against the AI. There are so many options in this game. It's not like they haven't tried to throw the kitchen sink at the RTS genre here. So you've got a really engaging and fun campaign, you've got conventional multiplayer, you've got the Blitz mode. There's so much to do in here. It's a real wealth of options. And if you went for the Ultimate Edition of the game as well, you would even have a fancy pants version of the original game to play. That is, however, not the version I was playing for review. I was just looking at the sequel here, and I think it's a really solid RTS. It's not like it has a lot of competition. There are turn-based RTSs that are showing up on Xbox and PlayStation and whatnot, but not a lot of RTSs, proper real-time strategy games. So I think, therefore, this is the pinnacle of that genre right now on the console. Like I said, not got a lot to go up against, going up against, but that's fine. And I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm a Halo fan. I'm an unashamed Halo fan. It's the franchise that got me into console gaming back on the very first Xbox. So, the silly story and that you've got your Marines and your whatnot, I'm going to always enjoy that. So, I think it's a fair score to say that, this is a great game. This is a very fun game to play. It's not a particularly unique game or something that's doing anything special. It's very much a sequel to the original, but I really enjoyed my time with it. So I'm going to give this a very strong 4 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.